All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2014. And this is For the First Cup of Jules on UCY.TV. Hey, I'm back. And school has started. And I got my life back, at least in part, a little bit. I have my days back. How's that? Hope everybody had a happy last couple weeks. I know I've kind of been fading in and out, trying to be as far away as possible if you want to know the honest to God truth. And I'm still not sure I want to be sitting in the seat. It's stinky in here and I can't breathe. I already noticed I'm like wheezing. It's got to be this cesspool that I live in. Cat hair, dander. Hey, the girls are in the chat room. It's up to you if you want to come on. I didn't hear from anyone this morning. I have nothing to talk about at all unless you want to hear me bitching about the pile of bills. This morning there were more bills. I want to torch it all. So happy Wednesday. Happy first Wednesday in September. It is still kind of warm here. The last couple days has been hot. And we had rain and lots of humidity, so the deck is like slippery now. I heard Dory saying yesterday that her plants weren't doing well. You know, I got to tell you, this year everything in my greenhouse exploded. And I mean literally, I hit a mountain. I sent the kids in. Told them to go clear out all the spiders and sent them into the greenhouse to go get the tomatoes. And there was a bowl overflowing with cherry tomatoes. So that was a first. I have peppers, hot ones, about 6 different kinds coming out my ears, which is good. We made some scratch pizza yesterday, white pizza from a dough ball. And mine was hot peppers, fresh tomatoes, and 6 cheese with spinach. And it was absolutely delicious. They were tomatoes from the garden and hot peppers from the garden. And oh my God, was it good. But, yeah, so those are the one things that are doing all right. The one things. The many things that are doing all right. Besides that, though, I mean, trees are already changing, but that started in the beginning of August, which is very, very early for here. It wasn't a terribly hot summer to begin with. I mean, I think the last couple days have probably been our hottest days the whole entire summer, if you can believe it. And I saw Farmer's Almanac was saying that it's supposed to be a pretty horribly cold, awful winter, which, of course, has already started sending me into spirals of depression because I just, like literally over the last couple weeks, was just finally recovering from that miserably, horribly, coldly, longly winter we just got done with. The 9-month-long winter that we dug out of. You know, that seasonal affective disorder is absolutely real. I never believed it, but the day that I put some ultra UV lights in my office when we tried to bring in some of our plants and keep them going over the winter, you know, we brought some grow lights in here, set up a bench, and had, at the time it was like palm trees. Remember those dumb palm trees? You get them for $5 or $10 at Lowe's or Home Depot. And it ends up, don't do that. Spiders make little houses in the dirt. So then when you bring them in, you turn a light on them in like September. Guess what? It's summer all over again. And you end up with a spider infestation in your office. So that wasn't a good idea. But for that whole winter, we actually had the grow lights on out here in the office. And I have to tell you, when I would come from the house and I'd come out here, it would be like I stepped into Hawaii. There was green palm trees and sunlight and just the the change in mood was incredible. So I am certain that that seasonal affective disorder is real, because I do get depression. And winter is just so horrible in the Northeast. You know, some years are worse than others, but this last year, oh my God, I think we were all ready to start bashing ourselves in the heads with rocks by the time March or April came around. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't until almost June before some of the crops got in this year. So hopefully, I'm just hoping this cannot be another winter like that, because I don't think I'll make it. I'm going to have to. Actually, I should be looking at getting the grow bulbs right now, hang one over my desk. You know, actually, though, if anybody knows anything about those, I actually looked that up one time, and I never really found any real information. The UV that comes out of those bulbs, out of the grow light bulbs, the plant bulbs. I mean, we have UVA and B, right, that comes out of the sun. What are you getting out of those bulbs? And is the UV that's coming out of the bulbs dangerous when you're under it? Because I wondered about that as I spent an entire winter out here going, wow, I'm in Hawaii. You know, was I getting irradiated? So I don't know, for all the scientists that are out there in the listening audience, if somebody wants to give me their take on UV bulbs and how dangerous they are to humans, I would appreciate that if you have any insight. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to talk about today. I mean, I really don't want to bitch. I have a lot of bill bitching to do. Oh, and this internet service provider. All right, so, Gio, I see you out there. I want to bring something up. I discovered now this company's in Canada, so I am not going to be able to sick an attorney general on them, but I really wanted to. You know, I've been doing websites for a number of years, so I've had a lot of contact with internet service providers. I was a network engineer for many years, and the company that I work for had their own internet service providership at one point. So I am fully well aware of what happens at an ISP. Not a big deal. It really isn't. I also have a lot of experience paying for and getting websites set up, databases set up. So there was this service provider back 2 years ago that one of my friends said, hey, you should check them out. They're actually pretty decent. They have a 50% off coupon, and they do everything you need them to do. So I said, all right, great. So I set up an account with them. We got a database set up. I was actually doing some work for a friend of mine that had a health he's a physical therapist, so he had his own little business going on, and we set up a website. So that was probably 2-3 years ago. In the meantime, the network happened, and a lot of other stuff happened, and I wasn't able to do any of that stuff anymore. So I had to kind of cut all those loose, just because if I was going to dedicate myself to all this stuff, I really couldn't be doing any of that stuff. So I cut them loose quite a while ago. So I get back from being gone, and I'm reviewing all the sucking sound of money being sucked out a window since I've been gone. And I happen to see a charge for $61 and some odd cents from this company that I didn't do business with anymore. And I was like, what the hell? So I take a look, and as a matter of fact, wait, let me go back. As a matter of fact, I did see something come through my email before I left, and I sent them an email through their website. I, of course, didn't have my login. I don't remember anything anymore because I haven't touched them in a couple years. But I said, hey, this account is not being used. There is no hosting that's happening here, and this hosting should be canceled. There is no website there. That domain's not even active anymore. Get rid of it. So, all right, I come back. I happen to see the $61.03 or 4 cent charge. And I go through all my email, and I never received a response from those people. So I'm like, all right. I go through the trouble of resetting my password, getting into their ticketing system, sending them a message and saying, hey, by the way, you've billed me. I don't have any services with you. As a matter of fact, now I'm looking at the invoice very closely. Not only did you bill me, but you overbilled me. And there shows that there's a $30 overbilling credit sitting in my account. Well, they sent me some dumbass message back going, well, if you sent us an email before the account renewed, send that email and we'll gladly cancel your account. But if it was after we billed you, we'll cancel the account, but the account is going to remain active and we're going to keep your money until the end of the term in 2015. I'm like, wait a second. First of all, I sent you the first message through your website, which, of course, there's no response, so I don't have record of it anywhere. But second of all, I don't care if you want to cancel me. I want you to cancel me, but I don't want the service, and I want a refund. Well, I went into their terms and conditions yesterday, and yes, it is a Canadian company. Check this out. Not only will they not refund your money, like you go to some place like GoDaddy and you have a hosting package and you use the hosting package 1 month, and then let's say you decide to go to another internet service provider, which you typically wouldn't because it's a big pain in the ass to move a website. But maybe the site gets killed. Maybe the people don't want it anymore. There might be some reason you'd kill your hosting. GoDaddy says, all right, you paid us $60 a year. You used 1 month, so we're going to prorate it. We're charging you whatever it cost for the 1 month, and we'll give you back the other 11 months worth of hosting. This place says no. They charged you, and they're keeping your money, regardless if you have your service or not. Oh, and number two, wait, terms and conditions. They overcharged me, and according to their terms and conditions, after 3 days after the bill's been cut, if they overcharged you and there was any extra credit sitting on the bill, they get to keep that too. But hey, you're really lucky because you can spend that on any of their services on their website, but they're not going to refund it to you. And oh, wait, number three, and I read this one after, this is already the third message I've sent to them, and they've given me a runaround, so I went to my credit card company, and I did the thing that I hate doing, but I'll tell you what, pisses me off when people decide that they're going to get paid for a service that they didn't provide. I filed a dispute through my credit card company. I'm not paying you $61 to bill me when I never even authorized that you could auto bill me, but apparently that's also part of their terms and conditions. They could just bill you forever until you tell them not to anymore. Like most, I don't do that with anybody. I have to renew it. And if I don't renew it, then it doesn't get renewed. Shame on me. They just auto bill you forever. But get this. So it says specifically in their terms and conditions that they do not tolerate disputes from credit card companies or holds or chargebacks. And so if you file a dispute, and of course I read this after I filed a dispute, they're also going to bill you another $50 on top of all that to say screw you. So wait, let me get this straight. I paid them $61 for a service I'm not using, which they overcharged me $30 for, so there's a $30 extra credit on the account that they bill me for that they're sitting on. And now that I filed a dispute with my credit card company, they're going to hit me for another $50? And they're allowed to get away with this. How is that possible? How is it possible? And so I see they have a headquarters out of Houston. I'm like, great. So you know what? I'm going to be a real fucktard, and I'm going to sick the attorney general on them. Because you know what? Places like that, that's how they make their money. It's not through good service. It's through ripping people off. Well, I'm not going to tolerate that, especially in my line of work. You're a hosting provider. I'm not going to let you get away with that. I mean, I've never seen any crap like that before. Well, I have, actually, the one that went bankrupt, and we lost all the sites and all the money and all the domains. That was a while ago. But not often. You don't see that. So I was really tweaked that I come home and I got this mountain of school bills and this tax and homeowners insurance and all this other shit to find out that then this internet service provider, after I asked really nicely and then I asked again and then I was told, oh, hell no, we're keeping your money and oh, we're keeping the overcharge we charged you and oh, we're going to bill you another $50 because now you're pissed off. So I was like, wait, what are they going to do? So they're going to get hit from the credit card company with a dispute, and they're going to say to the credit card company, screw you because you are now filing a dispute. We're going to charge you another $50. So what, now do I have to dispute the $50 that they're going to bill me because they're pissed off that I filed a dispute? I mean, this is going to be an endless ridiculousness. So, Gio, I need to find out. You guys got an attorney general in Canada? Like, what kind of recourse does a consumer have for being ripped off? I'm not putting up with it. I'm drawing a line. I'm drawing a line, and, you know, here's the thing. You take a look around the world. You take a look at the prices of food, right? We were talking about this the other day. You take a look at how far your dollar is going now. You take a look at how money-hungry, grubbing some of the scumbags are getting. Like, I'm just watching even this entire alternative journalism movement, and there have always been the targets, you know, the ones that we've known about that are always money-hungry, grubbing. But you just watch some of the tactics that are happening now, and it really just makes me roll my eyes. But that is spreading everywhere, and I don't think it was ever just here. You see corruption and the almighty dollar and screwing the people and sucking every last penny from every corner of the globe now. And I'm not standing for it. And hey, it might only be $61. But guess what? $61 could buy me all kinds of shit. Could buy me, I don't know, 10 3-pound cans of coffee when it's on sale. Right? $61 is nothing to sneeze at. Plus another $50 fee because they're mad that I filed a dispute. So anyway, Gio, if you know of anyone, I'm sure my credit card company probably knows how to go after scumbags in Canada. But stay tuned, because if this escalates, I may actually do a campaign against them on my website. I might actually dedicate that domain that they're still holding that has nothing on it. I might do an anti-website for them. Wouldn't that be a kick in the teeth? Sure, leave it up there hosted. Keep my money, and I will do a website that points out what a bunch of scumbags you are. I think that would be quite fitting. They probably would come after me, and they probably would take the site down, but it would be kind of funny. So, I don't know. I don't feel like bitching today. I saw all kinds of whacked out stuff this morning. Pigman just uploaded some more videos, and I found out, I heard, Hammy, you guys are talking about the beheading. This newest journalist beheading, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I asked questions this morning, and I was told, yes, this is actually what happened. That new journalist that was beheaded apparently is the journalist whose mom came out after they just released that other journalist unharmed, and she came out begging for her son's life. Please, please save him. Don't kill him. I think he's the one that just got killed. Now, when I saw her come out, I thought to myself, oh, that's not a good idea. That's like bringing the Eye of Sauron into your corner of darkness. I would not be asking for leniency from these psychopathic creatures that we created. And I guess that's what happened. And the newest video that went up is probably the most graphic ever. So I have not watched it. I was busy getting little ones off to the bus this morning, going, hooray! Summer was fun. But I have to say, by the end of summer, I am about at the point of saturation. We need more mommy time. Mommy needs mommy time by this time of the year. So, all right, you know what? I want to say, hey, I'm going to open the phones. And Lady Pitbull, if you feel like coming in, I'll bring you in as well. Because honestly, I don't feel like doing this show today. I am not prepared. I'm still trying to recover 10 bazillion things going on in the personal life and then the network, you know. Whatever. When I get to it, I get to it. People with ass hurt, who cares? Because I'm not. I'm not putting up with it. If your ass hurt, well, go sulk in a corner somewhere. That's the way I run my household. So that's the way I run my radio network. You cry, I tell you, don't cry. Get over it. You know what? If you broke an arm, it would hurt worse. Eventually I'll get to everything. And maybe I'll even find a way to retool everything. But as for right now, I don't know, one thing at a time. Otherwise it becomes too overwhelming and then I don't feel like doing any of it. And it just becomes me sleeping for 12 hours. So I don't want to do that either. I have done that already a couple days this break. There she is. I think.
Oh, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
All right. How about you?
I was shacked up in the bathroom for a second.
Oh, glad you shared that with us.
That's right. Pit stop. Sorry. How are you?
Fine.
Good. That's
so
wonderful.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh. Well, interesting conversation in the chat room, but I guess we won't have to go there.
I don't pay attention to chat when I'm on air, so.
Oh yeah, I don't really either. But I wasn't on air.
Since no one who's listening can see it.
Right. That's true. Oh my goodness. It smells so bad, and mold is in the air here. It's horrible.
I could tell you that I can feel a definite change in my breathing circumstances since I've come home. And my throat's all hoarse, and I got that wheeze back again. I didn't have any of that shit when I was gone. It was like just clear breathing, happy, and open, fresh air.
Oh, man.
Not cat dander and mold from all the creepy corners outside. I mean, this back door here, I keep it open. Most of the year round, actually. I keep the back door open while I'm out here, and there's a screen, but in the spring and in the fall, it gets damp. And there's leaves, and there's, I got vines and stuff out here, all my trumpet vines and my wisteria, which, once you start growing those, you better make sure you have a good place for them because they never die.
Oh, my God.
Can't cut them back either. And they're like Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors. Like, they take over everything. But they're gorgeous, beautiful, big flowers. The hummingbirds love them, but you just get this massive growing wall of vines, that take over. And so underneath the trellis where I have it, it's always dark under there. And there's leaves, and, it's great. It's a great little area. We got toads and stuff that live in there, which is, yay for the toads, but not yay for my mold allergies.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That kind of sounds like a nightmare.
Well, yeah, as it's right outside my back door.
Oh gosh.
But here's the thing. Everyone says, oh, don't whine about your allergies. And I'm typically not a whiner, but the thing is that if anyone who's ever had sinus issues knows, once you get allergies, it causes inflammation. Once you get inflamed, that leads to things like sinus infections and stuff,
Yes.
And so it's always the eternal battle.
Absolutely. And it's just
the
sometimes
worst.
Perpetual. That's the only good thing about winter is that this stuff isn't around in the winter time.
Well, I like the fire, but I also discovered that when I light a fire in the fireplace, that ash also causes me to swell sinus-wise.
That's right. When's the last time you had that chimney swept?
Oh, it's not even the sweeping. I mean, just any fire, even a pit fire if I'm sitting next to it.
Oh, man, that's a drag. I think we're going to get one of those Eden Pure heaters that are the infrared heaters. We're going to get one of those. My mom's got 2 of them. She says they work really nice.
Yeah, my dad does too. He just said his electric bill went way up.
Oh, that might not be such a good idea then. Jeez.
I mean, it might be worth checking out, though, if you had like a small room and it wasn't on 24/7. You know, he tried to run it all the time.
That's probably the reason. Yeah. Kind of got to shut it off in the nighttime. I don't know. There's kind of a bunch of crap going on, but let's see. I don't know. Another journalist was beheaded.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's the bloodiest video yet, and he apparently was the one whose mother came out and begged for leniency, which I always thought was a bad idea to begin with.
Yeah. So does Pigmine have that up?
Yeah, that's up. I haven't watched it yet because I was drinking my coffee, getting Munchkin ready for the bus.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good idea to watch.
No, he said it was the bloodiest one yet.
Oh, shit.
You actually saw blood.
Oh, man.
The head rolled down his chest or something. I was like, oh, yay, for beheading videos.
Oh, good first thing in the morning. My goodness. I don't mean to laugh because it's pretty...
No, it's not funny, but, look at what it's doing to us. Like, I really think that it is intentional. We've talked about this a million times before with video games, let's say, and that, what's the one where they rob and stab and kill and rape and steal cars and stuff?
Yes. Grand Theft Auto.
Yes, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, that is desensitized so many of our youth now to doing things like what happened to my sister.
Right.
Ask me what happened to my sister.
Oh, what happened to your sister?
She was sitting in New York City. Oh, must have been Sunday, I believe. Is it? No. Let me think. Last week. It was Thursday. So it was about a week ago. And she was on a bench outside of her apartment, and she does not live in a bad neighborhood. I mean, she's in one of the Brooklyn neighborhoods that has the brownstones and whatever. I mean, she's been there since the 80s, so it's not like she's a newbie to New York. It was probably about 9, so it was getting to be about dusk, and I don't know. New York City, dusk. I myself would probably be nervous, but if I'd lived there 25 or 30 years, I don't think I would be. And some 13-year-old kid came up to her and said, "Hey, do you know what the time is?" And she looked down to her phone, which was some crappy Samsung unit that didn't hold a charge. And the next thing she knew, she saw stars, and her jaw was swinging in 2 different directions.
Oh.
Yeah. The kid sucker punched her a bunch of times, smashed her jaw, broke her cheek.
Oh, my
God. Took her phone. She spent 17 hours in the emergency room.
Oh, no.
And, they had the surgeon. They weren't sure she was going to be able to keep all of her lower teeth.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she's got her jaw wired shut now for 2 months.
Oh, holy crap. So what was it? Was it like one of those spontaneous attacks? Those, whatever the hell they're calling them?
Well, I was thinking it was the knockout game, but she said no, it was some 13-year-old punk ass. And she said he looked really nice, and he came up all nice and everything. Hey, can you tell me what the time is? She looked down, and the next thing she knew it was stars. This kid punched the crap out of her. Right in front of her apartment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, smashed her jaw. So they split it in 2 right in the center, by the way. So it was swinging.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. That's terrible, Jules.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
I don't even know what to say. I mean,
on the other hand, here's what I have to say. You've been living in New York for 30 years almost, and you've never had an issue, and you see the way the world is going. I've been saying for a long time, shit, I'd be getting my ass out of a big city like that.
Hell yeah.
I got to tell you what, some 13-year-old little punk ass just beat your face in, and you're lucky you didn't have a shiv or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And took your crappy phone that didn't work. What's next?
No shit. I mean, could you imagine what's going to happen when people start getting hungry?
Well,
really?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I'm already seeing it. And you hear me bitching about costs for everything. Yeah. I can't believe how much meat was.
Oh, yeah. Did it go up since you went on vacation?
Well, $5 for less than a pound of 80% hamburger is pretty insane.
Oh my god. Dude, I'm in a self-defense class, and I don't know how you would... You know what? I'll ask about that to my instructor tomorrow. I don't know how the hell... She was sitting. I don't know how you would defend yourself against a sucker punch like that.
All I know is that I got a red button. And, you could talk all you want about if you were in a situation, and I'm sure it probably wouldn't turn out the way I worked it out in my head. But, oh my God, I would use every ounce of everything I had to grab that little effer right by the throat.
Dude, I would have the shit.
I would have made him eat dog shit.
Me too. Believe me, I would have.
Holding him by the ears with my fingernails dug in as deep as possible.
Yeah, he would have been chewing concrete if it had been me. He
sure would have been.
Because I would have
probably lost all his teeth.
Yes, I would have fought even though I was in abject pain. I'd still fight back to my... You know what I mean? Because that's me. You're not gonna do that, dude, to anyone else for the rest of your life.
And she managed to stagger to her neighbor's house next door.
Oh my god.
And the neighbor called the cops. The cops came and they put her in the car and started driving her around the park trying to find the kid. Now she sent me a message. She said the kid's face is like burned into her memory. So if she ever sees that little guy, he's going to be in all kinds of hurt. Though, you know what? He's a 13-year-old minor. What are you going to do?
Exactly. I mean, oh my god.
You know what? Mama's going to file assault charges against you then because you went after him.
Right. Oh.
But they didn't find him. They didn't find him. And she had to ask the cops to take her to the hospital.
Yikes.
Now, don't you think, like, you're bleeding, your jaw's swinging in two directions, your face had just been put... And I haven't seen any pictures yet because I'm kind of scared. But I guess she was unrecognizable.
Oh, my God. That is absolutely freaking horrific. I mean, seriously. Do you think she's going to think about moving the hell out of there now?
I have no idea.
Jeez.
I have no idea. There's no reason to live there and pay the insane rents that you pay to then get beaten up outside your own house.
Yeah, that's unacceptable to me, man. Let me tell you that. God. That's just, I don't even, oh my God. I feel bad for her.
Well, I feel bad for her because drinking through a straw, everything liquid for 2 months.
Yeah.
Is not fun. I mean, I know when I had my 4 wisdom teeth done, it was very difficult to not have solid food. Zori asked how she knew he was 13. That was just a guess.
Oh.
I mean, he looked like a 13-year-old little punk ass.
Yeah.
Maybe he was 10. Who knows?
Gosh, could you imagine that?
But here's the thing. The reason why I brought that up is because when we were kids, back in the 80s, I mean, maybe you heard about an assault in a city like L.A. or whatever, and maybe even New York in, some of the rougher parts of town.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how common this is now? To get beaten up by a group of punks?
Yeah.
I watch all these videos for them to go in and swarm a store and rob them all, or... it's crazy.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do about... I mean, how the hell are you supposed to protect yourself against, like, a mob, like, attacking you or going into a store like that? Man, it's just crazy.
Zombie apocalypse. And something else I'm going to tell you, too. I was talking about this the other day. The experimentation. I really paid a lot of attention over the last couple weeks as to the effect of television on my kid. We don't watch TV. I mean, typically, we would do the hour after dinner in the wintertime. We'd watch a science show. And even that, I see, has effects. And on top of all that, any of these science shows, I mean, I am watching these now with a fine-tooth comb. They are all just transhumanist propaganda.
Yeah.
I paid attention to any of that.
Right.
So I don't even think that those are good. I mean, I don't want my kid thinking about being augmented with a chip.
I know, and that's what they're pushing over and over and over again.
I just saw a show the other night. We get back, my husband's like, oh, I've been recording all of the science shows. I was like, oh, yay. What are they going to talk about today? And the one that was on the other night was all about how the future of humanity is getting the hell off this planet, period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. And, we've seen that come up before in conversation. I still think we should make a last stand, in my personal opinion, as the last generation of true biological entities on this planet.
Yeah, exactly.
And try to save it,
Yeah.
This has become the generation of disposable.
It is, too, and they just don't care. They don't care anymore.
Well, they don't. Use it and throw it away. If it breaks, oh well, get another one. That isn't
right.
the way we were raised in the 70s, that's for certain.
No.
You break it, you cry, Johnny, because you should have taken care of it.
It's gone. Yeah, you don't get another one. That's how it was. I mean, seriously. Yeah, man. And then, God, I'm looking at, it just kind of makes me sick, actually. I'm looking at Drudge right now, and there's this freaking little 4-year-old kid holding a cell phone up to his ear. There's a picture of that at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, and all that research just got kind of swept under the rug. That research, none of it really came out of the U.S. A lot of it was European research, but showing they had like water and different fluids to kind of simulate the brain with the phone outside of it. They were showing that absolutely that got into your brain. They've shown brain tumors and all kinds of stuff. And now if you even read the fine print, I'm trying to remember if it was the Android or the iPhone that I had actually looked up some of that fine print where it said about holding it away from your body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I never, ever, ever. I always use the speakerphone. Mm-hmm. Always.
And everyone complains. Oh, well.
I don't care. I mean, you can piss right off. I'm not doing anything. And I don't care who overhears my conversation. I'm not putting that thing up to my head. Mm-mm. And I guess this article is kids with cell phones, how young is too young? You know what I mean? It's actually out of Detroit, too, so... They're, like, talking about 5-year-olds having freaking cell phones. 5?
Add more to the ADD age.
Oh, my God. Actually, it seemed like if you were to give a 5-year-old a cell phone, it just seems like it would, like, after 10 years, it would just be zapping their brains completely.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I can't even imagine that. Oh, my God. It's like giving a toddler, like, aspartame or something,
Well, and...
Holy crap.
I mean, we did that in the 80s. All that Kool-Aid crap came out with blue dyes and freaking aspartame. My sister was totally into that stuff.
Yeah, man. Red number 5 and all this crap. Oh, it wreaks havoc on your system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But cell phones are a different animal altogether. It's because of all the electromagnetic, waves and crap like that. I'd say that's borderline freaking child abuse, tell you honestly. That's just my opinion.
Well, maybe in the old days. Now it's all normal to do that stuff.
Socially acceptable. Yeah, just like the Grand Theft Auto. It's all socially acceptable just to clock somebody on the street. You know what I mean? It's just, God...
I don't know. I was really horrified when I heard that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a symptom of the time, but how long is it going to be before it's happening in your neighborhood?
Right.
Or is it already happening in your neighborhood?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, right now, I'm really glad that I live out in the rural area. Let me tell you. Living in the cities for the birds, tell you honestly. Forget it.
Well, I mean, everything's easy to get there, but in New York, do you ever try to buy, like, some sugar or a thing of coffee? It's going to be 5 times as much, and it's half the size. They have all these, like, miniature packaging.
Oh, my God. What's the reasoning behind that? Is there any kind of reason behind that at all?
Delis don't have a lot of shelf space.
Oh, yeah? Shelf space. Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense.
So what's been going on in Philadelphia, man? I've seen a whole bunch of robberies. Big ones. I just saw another one, and I don't know if this is the same story from another angle that I saw the other day ago. The other day ago, is that a phrase? A bag with $140,000 worth of gold stolen in Philadelphia. How nice is that?
Yeah.
There was some parking lot robbery. There was another big store robbery. It's like, wow. Philly definitely is probably not a city you want to be in. So that's New York and Philly. And, you know, I am surprised. I haven't been paying a lot of attention since Bloomy left office. But what is going on in New York? Has there been, like, any type of craziness going on there?
Who took his place?
Oh, some other douchebag. Hey, by the way, I know nobody believes in voting, but New York, right, we have primaries coming up here in the next couple days. I believe it's the 9th. And then in November, of course, we have gubernatorial elections. We have Cuomo in office here, right? Cuomo passed that SAFE Act. There are alternatives to Cuomo in New York State. So anyone who is out there, even if you don't believe in voting, go to the primary and make sure that you get somebody anti-Cuomo on the ballot. You know what I mean? I don't want to get stuck with another 4 years of that asshole.
Oh, my God. That's just what a nightmare. Raging nightmare.
And I saw that there's also a lot of local town and county appointments going on, as well as the New York State Attorney General. Mm-hmm. So those are all pretty important. I think I'm going to go through before it happens and get all the names, and I'm going to research everybody. And I'm going to make sure that any of these corrupt bastards, I'm going to make sure that they don't at least get my thumbs up.
Right, but what if they're all like corrupt bastards all the way down the line? There's no one else to vote for.
Then vote for yourself.
Give yourself a write-in.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's the cycle continues to be a vicious, horrible, crappy, terrible place. I mean, I'm not kidding. Where are all the good people?
Beaten down.
Yeah.
Tired.
Let me tell you. I hear that.
And wanting to go to their little corner and live in their own little world. That's about the point I'm at.
Do you guys have the marijuana initiative on the ballot? Do you know? Or did he sign some executive?
Yeah, he executive ordered that as soon as he saw the dollar signs from Colorado.
Jeez. So is it been enacted yet?
No, they're going to drag their feet, and they never even had a plan. I mean, he didn't have a plan even to where he was going to get the medical marijuana from, and it was only for medical. And the last that I saw, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because I really haven't followed it in any closeness, just because it's kind of still a pipe dream. They were talking about taking the medical marijuana from C's pot.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure how safe that's going to be.
Or how fresh.
Yeah, or how fresh.
I mean,
out of the storage room.
Yeah, there's something to be said for moldy weed.
Right, let's give cancer patients pot with mold on them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, boy, geniuses all.
I did see that apparently there's been a permanent ceasefire agreement inked over the last few hours, or at least the news came out in the last few hours in Ukraine.
Ooh, I'll click on that.
So that might be a good thing.
Hopefully. It's like seeing that the Ukraine's got the propped up puppet government in there. Jeez. Unbelievable.
I really don't have a lot to say about any of this stuff because I've been ignoring it. So at some point, maybe I'll get up to speed and I can talk about it. But right now, I really don't care. I just don't, I mean, you can go into your own little corner, and it's kind of sad because I see that's what most of the American public is doing. You just go into your own little corner, and then none of it matters anymore.
That's true.
And it's like, oh, well, yeah, all right, let them kill each other. Who cares?
Right.
And, that's kind of the laissez-faire attitude I've had over the last couple of weeks. But at least from my perspective, I feel that I've done my due diligence. I mean, I follow this stuff rabidly on a daily basis, and I get to the point of overload.
Well, yeah, I mean, because of the the amount of things that happen every day, and it's getting worse. It's getting increasingly the caseload is becoming. I mean, you can't even report on everything anymore because there's so much crap. I mean, you got the Ebola, and then you got all this ISIL crap and ISIS crap, and
Remember, there is now.
Yeah, it's Bill Clinton. Depends on what your definition of is. Yeah. Remember that? I mean, you got all and then the Israeli Hamas situation. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, how the hell you can't even sift through the crap anymore? It's really, and it takes a toll on you if you're really keeping a magnifying glass on all this stuff. It just becomes convoluted at some point where it's hard to freaking follow it anymore.
It's not even that it's hard to follow it. It's just that you're at a saturation point. It's like pouring sugar and salt into a solution and then stirring and stirring and stirring. Exactly. And eventually it just starts to fall out of the solution.
Right.
Because you can't retain it anymore. Because there's just too much there.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's I've been feeling like that too, and I haven't even been doing this. Not even it blows my mind. I don't know how some people do that. Honestly, it's like, wow, nuts. Let's see, but they did say they've got a little ceasefire going on, so I hope that's true, because I was watching some of those pig mine videos, the graphic ones, and there were shells coming into people's homes, and bombs going off everywhere. I mean, jeez, some of that footage was pretty hardcore to watch. But I'm not sure if I'm going to watch this freaking beheading video, because there was indications that last beheading was staged. So who knows, Who knows if this was real or staged or whatever the hell's going on. All I know is that freaking Obama decided yesterday he was sending troops in, so more death, more destruction. Well,
I mean, there's a whole agenda behind all this. It's the grand chessboard, again, marching forward. I want to know how now Ukraine and Russia kissing and making up is going to screw things up. And I bet you that was kind of the motivation behind them deciding to be all nicey-nicey now.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's actually them against the United States, the imperialists, who...
that and the EU.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Craziness. Oh my god. I don't even know. My head's full of fog right now. I literally got up at the 8:53 mark, and I looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh no!
Today is the first day of school, so I crashed at probably 11:15, and I woke up at about 7. So
that's good. Those are normal hours, Jules.
Yeah, Hammy wants to know if we want him to yap about the beheading because he's watched them all. Yes.
Oh, come on in, dude.
Hold on, we'll bring him in.
It's good to hear his voice, man. I haven't heard him in a while.
Beheadings galore. Yeah, Brandon called bullshit on the last one. Like I said, I haven't seen this newest one, but Pigmine said he saw heads rolling and blood. But that doesn't mean anything, right? You got Hollywood.
I mean, yeah, there's blood packets everywhere.
Here we go. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I've watched these beheadings. I've watched both of them. I watched Foley and I watched Sotloff. And let me preface that by saying I've also watched probably more than a few cartel beheadings in Mexico. And there's various ways that they've done it in the Mexican videos, including the same way that they're doing it with that itty-bitty short, like looks like an AK bayonet, which, by the way, is probably the least effective way, according to my research with the Mexican videos. But these things are fake. These are absolutely 100% fake.
Good. I'm glad I said
I'll tell you why. Because after, he says his all jihad stuff, and the guy in the really shiny orange silk pajamas, extremely shiny orange silk pajamas for being in the middle of the desert.
Desert, right.
Because flowing throbes and all that. But he takes that knife and he makes like a plunging motion to the guy's neck, and then in the first video, in the Foley video, he makes a plunging motion and 5 or 6 good back and forth sawing motions before it fades to black and squiggle language comes up. And then it cuts to it's a bunch of question marks and tildes and stuff. And then it cuts back and the head is sitting on the body. Now, number one, that doesn't necessarily inspire terror because you can see that in any movie. But number two, it's fake because the minute he puts that knife and makes that sawing motion, number one, the guy closes his eyes. And in every one of them cartel videos, the minute the head starts coming off, the eyes open. They get like the body knows he can't do nothing. And number two, there's no massive, gigantic fountain of spraying blood. Because the minute the knife touches the neck, there's a massive spray of blood. And these guys don't fight nearly enough. So, these are fake. And I'm telling you, the lack of the massive spray of blood is the giveaway. Because if you seriously watch some of them cartel videos, they're gross. Chainsaw is the worst way to get your head cut off.
Yeah, it's the same, there's I guess if you look in YouTube, there's also Chinese torture and killings and stuff too. It's like the same kind of deal. You know what I mean? There's really only one way that the body's going to act when you when you behead it. You know what I mean? So
there's no massive spray of blood. You have, the average person has about 1.5 gallons of blood in their body, and it's under pressure. And you cut the carotid artery like that, and you get a spray of blood.
Yeah.
And it's a pulsing spray of blood with every pump, every beat of your heart.
Yes.
And there is none for the amount. All right, so let me preface it. There is no spray of blood, so either it's fake or Jimmy Jihad in the black pajamas is super weak and he can't actually make any kind of contact or anything. He's not, because he's cutting on the guy. You actually see the knife go down and then back and forth motions of his arm before it fades to black and squiggle language. It's fake. There's no spray of blood. It's absolutely fake.
Yeah, that's what I haven't seen him, but that's pretty much what you can gather. If they're just parading these poor guys around, and it's like, that's a reason to go in there.
In the video, they do have the head sitting on the body, all covered with blood. But whatever. Hey, the Japanese are making robots that look exactly like Japanese people.
They are actually.
So I that doesn't impress me. And the fact that they say, well, ISIS isn't showing the actual head being ripped off the body and the massive spray of blood because why? They're going for like a television rating or something? If the idea is to terrorize this, well, terrorize.
Right. Don't just be acceptable on YouTube.
Allah doesn't appreciate people pussyfooting around. You stand up for the jihad and get it done right. Scare everybody.
That's right.
So I think it's all absolute 100% pure, unadulterated bullshit.
Good. I'm glad you said that because I agree.
And I swear to God, all people have to do is watch one cartel beheading video. You'll never want to see another one again. And then watch these two videos. There's a world of difference. There's a world of difference. They're totally, this stuff is totally fake, and everybody on the news is pushing this. Like, it's almost like ISIS is going to go in, and next thing you know, like, you're going to wake up in the morning and all of Nebraska has been beheaded or something.
Yeah. Well, you notice too how they're really, I mean, I talked about this before I took off for a couple of weeks. It was kind of amping up then, where they were really kind of spinning like American youth is becoming radicalized, and then they had that girl in Missouri who, you know, had some online love affair with some dude who ran off to ISIS, and she became Jihad Jane, you know?
Yeah, the blonde hair, blue-eyed jihad coming home, you know, because the blonde-haired, blue-eyed people have been oppressed in this nation, and find solace in the words of Allah and the practice of Islam. I can totally see. I mean, along with, you know, like some Bud Lights and some football on the weekend.
Right, it's football season.
Football season is right now.
Yeah.
High school football's already in full effect.
Yeah. I actually had a local football player, come to my door and ask me for money. I'm like, dude, man, I don't have any money for that crap.
I'd have told that kid, I'll give you some money. You know, you're a strapping young lad. I need some holes dug in my yard.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. Talking about school taxes, I'm sure, Hammy, you probably are, I don't know, in your neck of the woods, but I'm assuming at this time of year, school tax bills come out everywhere. I mean, they get you to pay them, and then they're begging you for glue sticks, or they're sending out all the football players begging for money. Well, what the hell did the school taxes just go for?
Exactly.
It's a gigantic waste of money. It's a gigantic scam on every level. Everything we're being hit on all fronts by pure scam, pure unadulterated scam everywhere.
You're right, dude. You're absolutely 100% right, dude.
I mean, the thing that really bothers me right now is every major media figure is going on about these beheadings. Like I swear to God, like you're gonna pull up at the grocery store and get out of your car, and next thing you're gonna get beheaded. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, I know it's early, like on the East Coast or on the West Coast and all, but how fucking stupid are people?
Yeah, well, dude, it almost happened to Jules' sister. It almost happened to Jules' sister right outside of her door. I mean, she was practically beheaded. I mean, her bottom half of her head almost came off. For God's sakes, man.
But was that related to the cause of Islam?
No. Well, you never know.
Well, I don't know what happened to your sister. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'll tell you later. I talked about it already. She got her face beaten in over a stupid phone while sitting in a bench outside of her apartment by some kid that looked like he was 13.
The Quran commands you to share your iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's random crime and all that, and I'm really sorry for her, but I mean, I don't. Honest to God, if a parade of Muslims comes through, you know, that means you're probably going to get a Kentucky Fried Chicken in your town. That's exactly what that means. You know, somebody's going to open a liquor store or a smoke shop or something.
Yeah, genetically modified chicken with like 5 legs.
Yeah, but it's cooked in a halal fashion, so they can eat it. You know.
Oh my God. What is that? I don't even know what that means, that halal meat.
Halal is just like kosher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just blessed by a rabbi?
Except for, no, they just don't do the blessing thing.
Oh, I see.
And they don't collect a bitchin' tax on every product for halal prepared foods. They do collect a tax, however, on kosher prepared foods. But,
yeah, of course.
That's an interesting subject on its own, but seriously, if you have the opportunity, it's gross, but this is a horrible world we live in, and watch a couple of those beheading videos, and then watch the ones that they're promoting now. There's places you can watch them. They're making a big deal out of saying, "Oh, you can't find it, but you can find them everywhere." You know, and try and watch a cartel video, and you'll see a stark difference.
What words
in your face?
What words would you put into YouTube to find that?
I would put in. I wouldn't actually. I don't think you're going to find them on YouTube, but there's plenty of other places that are hosting videos that have it. I watched them on.
I'm sorry, I was reading something.
For the beheadings.
The beheadings?
Yeah, I saw.
No, go to Pigmind's website. We built a whole playlist.
He's got the beheadings.
All under graphic content. All the beheadings are under there.
Awesome.
We're talking about the cartel beheadings.
He's been doing this for 7 years. I bet there's some.
If he's got a graphic content cartel beheading, that would be a nice addition to that, because then people will see that it's absolutely 100% fake.
That's a good idea.
You know what, though? There probably haven't been, well, maybe within the last year or so, because this is probably the last 9 or 10 months of videos are currently on the site. So I don't know if there's been any good cartel beheading videos in the last 10 months or so. There'll be one out there.
There's a cartel beheading video at least once a week.
Jeez.
Yeah,
that does not
really
surprise me. What do they do? Videotape themselves?
Yeah, what the cartels do is they get whoever they captured, and it's usually a soldier for the opposing side. And by soldier, I just mean just a flunky. And they get them to say who they are, who they work for, what they did, what the transgression was against the other cartel that prompted the kidnapping and the eventual beheading, and then they get to sawing, and it's all right there on tape, and it's pretty graphic. I mean, it's a massive spray of blood, wiggling like crazy, and then a cessation of wiggling. The eyeballs stay open, and there are noises.
God, morning combo.
There are noises that are not pleasant. Like the gurgling and like wheezing sounds are just pretty rough. And I'll tell you what, that is content that would shock America. This stuff is, America's favorite beheadings, followed by an all-new episode of How I Met Your Mother.
That's funny.
Well, it's pretty twisted, though, because that stuff is all interleaved with shows just like that on TV. So it kind of weaves it into normalcy. You know what I'm saying? Like that complete desensitization to... I mean, think about 20 years ago if we saw something like this. Wouldn't people have really kind of stood up and said, holy shit, what is this? Yeah. Notice how everybody's just so apathetic about it. And, I mean, even we're laughing about it, kind of. Not that it's even funny, but we're just like, well, another head cut off.
I think 20 years ago, if there would have been a beheading like that, there would have been a copycat beheading by now. And people would have seen the difference. People would have picked up on the fake.
I think it's definitely fake.
I'm telling you, this is 100% absolute prime grade bullshit. I mean, this is like bullshit that costs a lot per pound.
Yeah. Who was that guy, 5-6 years back, like Daniel Berg or something like that? That was a fake video, too.
That one had interesting... I don't know, just discrepancies in it. The orange outfits are always kind of a giveaway to me, because seriously, if these guys are ragtag and fighting from the rooftops and grandma's basement and using civilians as shields and all that kind of, do they have like a contract with the orange prison outfit manufacturer?
Right, because don't prisoners in Gitmo wear those orange outfits? Same damn orange outfits in Gitmo?
Manufactured military, police, state, prison system.
I mean, did they happen to break into the the orange outfit storage depot right next to the AK-47 and the plastic explosive depot in Baghdad or something.
Actually, it's more like it's CIA run. They just
that's pretty interesting that you say that because look at who the leader of ISIS is. The figurehead that they always quote. His name is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, Baghdadi. That's what I thought.
I think that's an amazing coincidence that this guy happens to have a name that 90% of Americans can recognize. Of all the Arab names out there that are completely unpronounceable, the guy who's like the boogeyman has like a name that everybody can say.
Yeah, like Osama bin Laden.
I think that's an amazing coincidence. But if you really look at who he is, his name is Shimon Elliott, and he's an Israeli citizen. And he had extensive training by the Mossad and the CIA in Jordan.
Well, it's amazing.
Isn't Jordan the location of one of the secret, CIA rendition sites?
Jordan is where Brandon was saying that we did a lot of the training for the ISIS guys.
Yeah.
When we gave them all the guns.
Bingo. Jordan
and Turkey.
Yeah.
So those orange jumpsuits are a dead giveaway.
I mean, it's almost transparent. I just wish people could actually see it and not believe the drive time morning show AM radio hype that's totally pushing this. I mean, it's be careful when you stop at the Circle K this afternoon because there may be a jihadist behind the trash can.
Here's a good question about those videos. If you were a jihadi, wouldn't you use like an Hassan chop sword?
Yeah.
Not a pencil knife?
Yeah, it's like an AK-47 bayonet. That's really not effective.
But I mean, wouldn't you? Isn't that the way it always worked in Islamic culture? Didn't they use like a really nice, big, sharp sword?
Right, and that was because like the death is supposed to not inflict pain, but it's supposed to because it's supposedly if your head comes off in one fell swoop, it's somewhat painless. But who's going to complain, right?
Right.
But they're traditionally, I mean, you see it in all the movies, they always use that big, broad sword. You know what I mean? And, it's not going to use no damn little bayonet. That's not going to work. It's true. That's a good point, Jules.
What I find to be interesting is, Jimmy Jihad in the black pajamas it's almost a movie star, like a movie bad guy quality outfit. And
they were saying that in the very beginning, that all these videos... Sorry.
I apologize. Go right ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I interrupted, but there was just this video when they first came out showing how polished and Hollywood movie-esque all of their promo videos were. And obviously there must be a large amount of dollars behind them. And I believe that it was investigated. Qatar was involved as well as the Saudis. That was Brandon stuff.
Exactly. And then you got the Saudi king running around saying that there's going to be terror attacks in England and the U.S. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Didn't one of the Saudi princes say the exact same thing to Putin right before the Olympics?
Yeah.
He controls the Chechen rebels that bring death and despair. Yeah.
Good point.
We talked about that. We talked about that, and Netanyahu had come out too. If you remember, do you remember that, Wendy? We played that video clip 3 or 4 times of that reporter, and it was like that Saudi ambassador being threatened by the used car salesman who was hiring the Mexican drug cartel. Remember that in New York?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was the guy. That was the guy in Corpus. He was the Iranian guy.
Yes, the Iranian. Yes.
Yeah, he was from Corpus. Yeah, he was he worked at a car lot or something. I know exactly where that car lot is in Corpus.
Oh my god.
the cartel don't deal with the Iranians like that because seriously, the cartel's all about making business, right? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. And why would you cut off the route for a few shekels? Why are you going to cut off the route that gives you the path to your great big fat dollars?
Hell yeah!
I mean, somebody's got to pay for them 24-inch rims on the Escalade.
Right.
In the long-term sense, it doesn't make any, or in the long-term scene, it doesn't make any sense to take the quick Iranian money. So,
well,
I think all the terrorist stuff, I swear to God, I believe that 90% of the stuff that we hear about is directly funded or a result of whatever we do.
Well, here's something in research. The Saudis, when I first started digging into Lebanon, this was way back, probably spring maybe, Lebanon, Hamas, Hezbollah, and looking at all those connections, one of the things I came across in my research was looking at Saudi and the fact that that whole region was explored by American companies. And they were the ones that discovered the oil there. Did you know that?
Oh, no. Yeah. The Saudis didn't figure it out.
No, we did that. And then we kind of appointed this whatever you want to call it, I don't know, kingdom.
The House of Saud.
Right, which is why, when we see pictures of all the Bush family chumming it around or whatever, of course, they're all the oil moguls.
Right, I said that the other day in chat, and I think Shali was talking about it on Sunday, and I was just like, ask Bandar Bush, what the hell the deal is, and he'll tell you. I mean, it was probably Bush Incorporated that discovered the friggin' oil.
No, it was like Sinclair or what was the other one? Standard Oil.
Okay.
They're from
Aramco was
Aramco, yes. That was the corporation they formed.
Yeah. And that's Arab American Oil Company.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
So,
but it's all
puppeteers, and they all make money regardless of what happens. And then, you start investing in the military-industrial complex and look at how conveniently, wonderfully profitable it is once you knock all the pieces on the chessboard down and then have to build them all up again,
That's right.
You need more money. Even at that point, you need more money and more control. So now that you own the energy complex and the military-industrial complex, what else do you go for? You go for the entertainment complex, and you have the entertainment ensure a future and steady supply of people for the prison-industrial complex.
Yep. That's right. That's how it works.
Now they're adding all the big pharma as well and big tobacco. When you start looking at the new DARPA-funded miraculous cures with these secret serums they're coming up with. I just heard a show yesterday where someone kind of said almost like a yay, now they have this new vaccine out, but you really need to understand what they are doing with this technology. And it's not like the technology from any level that we ever understood before. All of this, including the next generation GMO, Monsanto is in this whole mix as well as Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, and DARPA, and the National Institute of Health. And now all the international governments as they're giving them their own Ebola cases and then giving them serum to try. This is at a core level of manipulating biological operating systems. I mean, they are at the root of all biology right now, manipulating our bodies with these new next generation RNAi, which is interference. It's RNA interference is what they play. They use GMO tobacco right now for the Ebola virus, but there have been a couple other plants that they've messed with as well to produce these antibodies as they drown these plants in this serum that what they're doing is, in the case of Ebola, they're using a mouse and some sort of cancer virus, of course, and they pull a part out of one of the cells and they insert it into another part of the cell, and then it expresses this antigen. But the antigen is mouse antigen. So then they go into the production and they suck out the mouse part of the DNA and they insert human DNA into that. And that has these how would I even explain it? Components that are part of your base DNA operating system. So they're going to put that in to then RNA interference stands for quieting or manipulating some of your genes. So they're going to be able to go in now and say, we want to quiet this protein. Like what they're doing is manipulating basic amino acids in the body now, and they can turn things on and off. And so they might be telling you, here's my fear, they might be telling you that they've produced this vaccine that, shuts down protein CW-132, which is responsible for the bleeding out from Ebola, right? So if they turn that off, now you are immune to any viruses that would affect that protein. Does that make sense?
That's crazy and insane.
But think about this, with nanotechnology and these little nanobots and abilities to turn on and off proteins, and which proteins affect and control all of your biological processes inside of your body. So think about what other covert thing they could be piggybacking with that vaccine.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. You know, I kind of joked about it with my daughter when I started reading about this. And I said, who knows? You could get this vaccine, and the next thing you know, you start growing wings. But guess what? There's probably a gene somewhere in our code, right? They said most of our DNA is dormant code. And they could maybe flip one of those switches on where we used to grow tails.
Crap. Do you remember that Star Trek episode where that happened? You remember that? And they all, this ancient stuff got awakened in their DNA, and they started transforming into lizards and stuff like that.
Well, but look at how fetuses form, right? They all form between birds and mammals, and that we all look like little reptilians.
Right. Oh, boy.
So anyway,
maybe they've got more insidious plans for us than just starvation and nuclear war.
I think they're going to behead every one of us.
Well, basically, I was going to say is that what Jules was just speaking about is beheading humans on a DNA level. Really, I think what you originally said, Jules, was right in that we are the last vestiges of the last humans remaining, and we better start fighting for ourselves right now. I think you were right when you said that.
Well, I think you look at who's in charge now with Kurzweil and this whole, what did the CEO of Google call it? His immortality project that they're working on?
Yeah.
And the fact they got DARPA in the mix and this whole smart home and integrating augmented reality. And there was just a video, I'll have to dig it up, that came out last night about this new implantable flash drive from DARPA for your brain.
Holy crap! This is going too fast. I mean, really.
I think it confuses people. I don't think people have the technical knowledge that Jules has, and I think you start saying a lot of these things, and it goes right over their head.
Well, it's like cognitive dissonance. They don't understand it, and it's too way out there. It's shit they saw in movies. And here's one other thing, this blending of reality versus fantasy with the video games and
the Star Trek.
The Star Treks, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've started to mesh. We have reached that point of being gods. And we don't deserve that as a species. I don't think.
No.
I don't think we have earned the moral right to be able to. Here's something I saw the other day that flipped me right out is, there were videos a few months ago about crossing 3 DNAs instead of just 2, mother and father. Now they use a third one to help correct genetic defects or whatever in the mother's genes. So they were talking about doing that and the ethics of that. Well, then I just saw an expose on one of the news channels the other night showing that the kid's like 19 years old. They've been doing it since the 80s.
Of course. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. They're just now coming around and announcing they're doing it. That's always how it works. It's it's always 50 years ahead of the time until they announce it, then they've already been doing it 50 freaking years.
Right. So, when you look at the announcement that they made again a couple months ago about the 2 new proteins in DNA, you saw that, right? It's like the first artificial life ever. This has 2 additional amino acids in the DNA string that no other living biological creature on this planet has. And they were synthetically synthesized. So it's the first combination biological synthetic life from the DNA strands, and they've made it reproduce.
And if they can do that, then they can. Yeah.
When I look at that, I'm like, man. And now I'm looking at these new vaccines. Don't fall for it, people. I'll tell you what. I always called this. I said the day that they say they came out with the cure for cancer, everybody's going to line up and they're going to take it, and that is the mark right there. And I'm going to tell you why. Go into my Before the First Cup feed that I feed in underneath our Before the First Cup chat room, hit some of those stories and start looking at these different pharmaceutical companies that are all involved and look at their timeline of the products that they're working on in the pipeline. That's what you need to look at, because all this stuff is way developed already. The next phase is human testing for most of them. And that Ebola one, just like the swine flu virus, the swine flu emergency, getting those vaccines in from Europe with the squalene in it a couple years ago, they fast-tracked FDA and allowed it to go to human trial without due diligence.
That's all they do. They don't even The FDA is just a word, like letters now. I mean, they mean nothing.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that once they now, and you notice there was big fanfare that these Ebola doctor and the aid worker were cured. And I just saw a story yesterday. The woman came up with 2 negative blood tests in 24 hours, so they let her out. I mean, they let them both out. But, 2 negative tests in 24 hours.
That's not very long.
We're talking Ebola and some experimental vaccine that's never been tried before on humans, so you say, and you're letting them go? Wouldn't you have them locked in a CDC air vault for months on end, doing all kinds of freaking tests on them to see why they were cured and what worked and what didn't?
You would think.
6 months from now, they don't start spewing mothership manufacturing? Because who knows what the hell happened to their DNA?
Well, they must have already done the trials in secret on humans.
Maybe.
That's what you know what I mean?
Typhoid Mary's been released in a couple different locations.
Correct. I think this time next year is going to be...
Guys, I'm telling you, this is not crazy bullshit. This is really happening. And they have this technology, and Hefty dropped me videos that showed DNA coding now is just like .NET coding. You have a framework, you have reusable components, and you can plug them into different places and make them do different things on a computer screen. So it's not even like you're splicing with a razor blade and an electron microscope,
Yeah, man.
It's pretty damn scary.
It is. We're not going to be human anymore, and it's going to be very soon. Man.
So, I don't know. Kind of put a damper on things. I'm sorry.
No, but it's got to be said, because you kind of have to drill this information because it is so complex.
Well, people need to read. You know, the power that we have is our brain, and they haven't taken that away from us yet. And just because we don't understand it or we don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. I could, try looking into the sky with your bare eyes in a city and then go out to the country and look up. Okay, that's probably the simplest analogy I can give. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean there isn't a million different things out there that are just outside of your vision. You just need to see it or understand it. So start reading. Start with some of those first stories underneath the chat room. I'm telling you, you would be very frightened. And look at the corporations that are involved. You got military-industrial complex. You got big pharma, big tobacco, black ops, mad science gone mad, Google, Amazon, CIA. Right? They built their whole cloud. Now
Bill
we find
Gates.
out NSA, Bill Gates, Microsoft, Cyber Patrol. Guys, this is now hackers. Oh, now we got to get corporate America all tied in with the whole system, biometrics. I just mentioned about all those African countries going with the biometrics.
That's right.
I meant to ask Brandon if he heard that. Because that's crazy. And just as we're drone bombing and setting up all these, surveillance state areas in Africa to take control of things, and then the Ebola outbreak, now we're going to have to clamp it all down.
That's right. Big, massive clampdown coming, and it's here now, too. Ebola is definitely here on our shores.
Sure is. One in California I saw that hadn't come back with results that were definitive yet, and then I don't remember where the other one was. All the other ones were declared safe, apparently. There were 7, I think, total.
Yeah, but they're just going to quietly, like they did in Sierra Leone, quietly let it spread. Oh, look, there's nothing to see here. And then, oh, bam!
Right, remember percolation.
Yes.
They've been letting this percolate since March, guys. I don't know if you realize it's been that far. We did actually, Pick My News, there's an Ebola playlist as well. So all the videos are collected there.
Oh, right on. See, that's good to see that stuff in succession.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to understand how we're talking about. I know it takes a lot of time to...
But it's on a big wall, too, so you don't have to scroll. You could just, scroll a little, but you see thumbnails and you see titles for everything on a big page.
That's awesome.
So it kind of helps, when you're trying to see the big picture.
Sure. That's really, really an awesome way that you streamline that. That's fantastic. Did a great job.
At least it helps me when I try and get a feel for what's trending, or not trending from that perspective, but trending as in, if you notice, it always comes in waves.
Yeah.
And this week is, these 5 things, and next week are these 5 things, and everything gets forgotten. Like, what about, somebody was talking about all these planes that went missing in Libya. I think G. Michael Hoff last night mentioned it. Then I looked, there were a few stories, 11 or 12 jetliners out of Libya.
11 planes went missing from Tripoli. And
yeah.
It's really interesting that the 11 planes come up missing right on the heels of Lieutenant General McInerney giving that interview on Fox, saying that a book is being released on September 7th, and the impact of the book may cause a 9/11-like event.
Oh, you've got to be...
11th and the 14th. No. Oh,
here comes the numerology. Here come, you know what I mean? It's coming. I think this is going to be a big 9/11 that's going to happen. This might be the final martial law clampdown here.
Well, they've made it into a big, huge, giant, even more than a pimple. Oh, boil.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to lance it with 11 jetliners. Think about that one.
Oh, my God.
I mean, and that's the way they play it, too. Like, they just keep repeating the same playbook, except this time everyone will fall for it again. Because we've had this trauma-based mind control. That's what this news has been. What was that?
They're gonna behead everybody using airliners.
There you go.
Yikes, man. We might have just figured it all out.
Well, how many major cities do we have? Are there 11 or 10? Maybe one extra in case they lose it?
Yeah.
Who was the Russian that said that there were 25 nuclear devices scattered across the United States?
I've heard that even from that FEMA training I took 7 years or 8 years ago.
Right. So.
And they said that the Mexicans are going to bring them across the border. The terrorists dressed as Mexicans are going to bring them across the border. And what has been going on in the middle of all this? Absolute immigration, and immigration migrants pouring across the border.
There's
uncontrolled. So that now becomes a perfect cover story.
Exactly. It's plausible deniability.
Yep. But they called that. And they trained us for pandemics, if you remember me telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
On how to give out. We train for anthrax, though.
And I've been saying for so long this is going to be a multi-pronged, multifaceted attack when it happens. And it looks like we're putting the pieces together pretty well here.
Hey, you know what I found when I was cleaning my stuff out? And I think I might have put it in a pile of books that I can find, definitely, but it was the federal training guide that came with that class. It's printed.
Ooh.
But I might be able to find that online or something. It would probably be interesting to take a look at. Because it was from back then.
Just put the title of the catalog in there, and I'm sure it'll come right up.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but I'll have to get it.
It's you might want to break it back out pretty soon here. Holy crap! This thing is gonna. It's like right next week, isn't it? I mean, what day is 9/11?
Next Thursday.
Next week, yeah.
God dang, man. Oh boy.
So I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of that in the mainstream, though. I haven't seen any video clips.
Well, maybe time to break out the painter's plastic drop cloths and the duct tape and that kind of stuff again.
Because they don't even have to attack 11 cities with that. They could just go after like 11 nuclear power plants and do a good
I'll tell you
job.
what, seriously, if this is all kind of just a joke, because these people are claiming that the United States is oppressing them. This is why they have to fight back. But they always act in a way that guarantees maximum destruction of their own people. And with relatively little destruction here. Lots of fanfare, but very little destruction when it comes down to it. And it never really attacks. Well, like ISIS never attacks Israel, right? Like they've already said that Allah has forbidden them from attacking Israel, even though ideologically that's why the United States is the great Satan, because they partner with Israel. But never mind that. But there's all these massive plans for these really extraordinary and extravagant terror things. When seriously, if you want to create terror, all you need is 50 guys and 50 shotguns. And you hit 3 different malls right around the Christmas season, and you have them shoot up the 3 different malls. And then when the inevitable cops show up, you have them attack. You have other guys come in and attack the cops from the back. That would cause insane panic here. It would sink the economy. Black Friday would not occur, kind of a thing. And that would be it. And you get that done with 50 Jihad Jimmies and cheap ass shotguns out of the newspaper.
Wow.
Hey, do we have any confirmation on those planes missing? Because I'm getting reports that the planes were destroyed. That Tripoli airport had been getting attacked for weeks, and I do remember quite a few videos on that. But, I mean, I just heard in a show yesterday about the planes missing. I did a few searches and saw, like, The End Times or something talking about it, but I haven't seen anything mainstream that's talked about it. So I was just wondering if either of you guys did.
No.
It was on Drudge Report that the planes were missing. But if it was on Drudge Report, there's a 40% chance it'll link right back to InfoWars.
Right.
So.
Well, I'll have to look into that more and see if I can find anything. Because that would be, I mean, especially with 9/11 coming, that would be something that you definitely would probably want to know.
And I find it interesting that we've got all these concerns right now. The entire world's falling apart. We're all going to get beheaded when you wake up tomorrow. But nobody's paying attention to the deal that the Russians made with the Chinese, right? The world's largest natural gas pipeline is going.
I saw that, yeah.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
I posted it.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, Gastown, Russia to China, which really, in essence, is a threat to Europe, because all Putin's got to say is, well, screw it, we're not giving you people gas anymore. We're selling it to the Chinese.
Right.
And the Chinese will use as much as the Russians can send them.
Yep.
And then Joe Biden's son will be sitting on a pile of crap.
Boy, isn't that interesting? But watch out, you're gonna get beheaded.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Almost makes you want to take breakfast bong hits. Jesus.
Hey, did you guys see Halliburton supposedly reach some $1 billion settlement for the Gulf spill?
I thought it was BP that did it. It was 1.1 billion, and I think that's it. I think they're out at that point.
Yeah. So is $1 billion enough for the entire Gulf?
Hell no.
How do you put a price tag on that?
Nah, not for the massive destruction of the oyster beds. I mean, there's not going to be any oysters coming out of the Louisiana area for years. And I mean, I'll tell you what, I live in oyster country right here, and Captain Gringo lives in oyster country as well. And we both can tell you that half the boats that are out there getting oysters out of Texas waters are not registered in Texas. They are Louisiana boats, they're Alabama boats, they're Mississippi boats. Because, we didn't get smacked by it.
Right. Oh, my God.
And, like a baby oyster takes about 3 years to grow before it's like table size.
Does it really?
Yeah. But the nice thing is like when a baby oyster, or when a mama oyster spits out all the babies, she spits out like 100,000 of them.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. See, you learn something new every day.
UCY is your home for fascinating information.
Yes, first thing in the morning with your first cup of coffee.
And a bong hit.
Only place you can get information on beheadings and oyster reproduction.
Yes, and biological processes.
That's right.
But people can't pronounce half those words.
Yeah, it's true.
We make your brain work in the morning. But you don't notice, I got to tell you, there's a craft to doing this show because the first hour is like short-circuiting brain circuits. It's always like that until the caffeine kicks in. And then it's just like magic.
I agree. It's pretty cool. This has been a good show today. Very good show.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys came on because I had nothing to talk about today.
Oh, right
Still
on.
kind of half disgusted at just everything. I guess that would probably, if I had to put an emotion on it or a label, it would be disgusted. I've just been disgusted with everything.
Wow. So it's hard to kind of, don't we kind of do this like every September 11th now, or approaching September 11th where the hype gets raised? I'm flipping through channels and they're starting to show all the 9/11 garbage that they spew out, and they're just ramping up the tension.
Requiem for the heroes.
Yes.
On.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes you, it's ad nauseum, and it just, I don't know. I don't know. They do something crazy next Thursday, and our whole entire life changes, and the grid goes down. It's just, what are we gonna do? We gotta go after the guilty, correct? The real guilty.
That will not happen.
They made it impossible.
We fund the guilty at the tune of like $3.3 billion a year.
Absolutely.
We just funded the guilty's last little foray into Gaza, and I believe the U.S. is on the line $2.5 billion for the last little Gaza excursion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're paying for it.
Yeah. And are continue to do so. Crazy. I don't even know what to say about it all. Yep. We lose everybody? Hello? Did we get cut off? Hello, hello. Hammy, you there? Oh, I think we lost Hammy. Alright, guys. It's just me. Oh, here we go. We've got Rand Paul talking about time to destroy ISIS. So he's nothing but a neocon tout puller. Let me see if, well, actually I can't do that. Jules is hosting the call. So, let's see. I'm on, you guys, right? I mean, it sounds really quiet. We lost Hammy. So everybody in the chat room, if you can hear me. Oh, very good. Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you very much, Jax. And hi, everybody in the chat room. I love all you guys. Here we go. Let's see. Well, Hammy got dropped, so... Let's see. Jules is hosting. So... There we go. Alright. There we go. Bang. Let's see here. Hang on, guys. I'm just kind of messaging Hammy real quick. There. When Jules gets back, she'll handle it. All right, on. And in the meantime, let's see. I don't know. We just seems like Jules covers all the DNA sequencing and all that stuff, and it's just that how do you can't top that. I mean, that's what really. I mean, sure. It being like 9/11 next Thursday aside, that to me is way more scarier than like any kind of like, I don't know, nuclear attack or anything like that. This DNA protein sequencing thing is just that's really, it's one thing to kill humans, but to rewrite humans and then turn them into like robots at the flick of a switch, that's like really like the thing that gets me rocking in the morning. Rocking like Bill Gates.
Well, I think that's what they're doing too.
Oh yeah, and it is, and that's what's super scary. I mean, I can deal with like a nuclear accident happening, like, but that's even worse. I mean, 'cause at least I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, it's mind blowing. You know what I mean? And they're doing it. That's what kills me. And they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find that that mind chip DARPA.
I think Hammy does want back on.
All right, let me pull him back in. Did it crash? I ran upstairs.
Hammy just dropped, and then I wasn't sure if the whole thing hadn't dropped, and then I came back and you said just stepped out for a sec, so I started yakking.
Did he pick up? No.
I don't think so. Doesn't look like it.
All right. Well, let me see if I can find that clip, and I'll have to bring myself on. Here we go. We'll try and bring me. And I remember, I start with a J. It's been a while. Jules. No. Yeah, Jules. Now, let's hope I don't have anything playing in the background. I have no idea what I got open here. Cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha-cha. All right, well, let's see. Uh-oh. No.
Let's see what Hammy says here.
I brought the wrong one in. Hold on.
Interesting.
Okay, I think I'm connected. So, okay.
Hammy says that his phone's not ringing.
Okay, I'll hang him up and we'll try him again. Here, I'll just have him call us.
Okay.
And I'll conference him in. If it works. You know, the Skype's always had some weirdnesses.
Yes, and continues to do so. There.
Oh well.
See what happens. I just messaged him.
So this this video is DARPA created USB memory stick for human brains. I saw that this morning. Let me see if I can get the video to play, though. It's always a different story. Here we go. Maybe. Seems like nothing has changed, huh?
Right. It's crazy, isn't it? Hammy just said he tried calling in. Couldn't do it.
And he's still ringing.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you couldn't call in because you didn't disconnect.
Yeah. Huh. Everything is hanging up on me now.
Oh, it sucks.
Yep. Son of a bitch. I don't know what's going on here now. Come on. All right. Let me sing la 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 la.
I'm like here messaging Hammy back and forth. Oh my gosh.
Robopets make training real for veterinarians.
Really?
Robopets.
Oh my god.
I don't want to find that one though. I want to find the flashcard. Hold on.
Let's see. There was another couple ones that were here just in the headlines.
Biofabrication brings lab-grown tissue closer to reality.
Oh shit. Yikes, man. Oh my god.
I want to play 3 videos, so let me find that DARPA one. DARPA.
I thought there was one. I thought there was one here that was pretty good. And I can't. Oh, it says humanoid robots to fit stores.
Yeah, they were coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sub $1,000 too, I believe.
Oh my god.
Well, some of these home helper robots, anyway.
That'll be just the precursor to the sex bots.
His chat jumps up and down.
Yeah.
I think Flash might have crashed on me or something because nothing is freaking playing. Hold on. Let's try a different. Let's try a different browser.
Let's see here.
Baseball bat. Baseball bat. Yeah, here we go.
There we go. Here's something.
Researchers at the Medical University of South Carolina are paving the way to make lab-grown tissue and organs a reality. And they're doing it through biofabrication. The team is led by Dr. Michael Yost.
Biofabrication just means using some basic techniques in engineering to create new tissues and tissue components.
The process starts with bioinks, which are complex solutions of nutrition like glucose and proteins, along with cells and more.
And so this would typically have at least 1.5 million cells in it.
The tissue cells are then taken to the Palmetto printer, the university's 3D bioprinter. The engineers use a touchscreen to set the volume of ink, then the bioprinting begins.
And with our 3D bioprinter, we've been able to create new microvascular networks that we can then grow new tissues in very key areas such as pancreas, liver, and kidney.
Those microvascular networks, seen here, are vital to life. They allow for nutrition to be absorbed properly. While the university has been working on biofabrication since 2003, progress has picked up significantly in recent years, says researcher Sarah Grace Dennis.
When I got here a year ago, we were printing acellular bioinks just to see if patterns could be printed. And now we are printing skeletal muscle replica implants that we've been implanting into rats.
Eventually, the team hopes to create human organs. It's a development that's years from reality, but Yo says that with every new achievement, his team is getting incrementally closer.
Tissue biofabrication is a reality, and it's a reality now. And if you come here and you get to see it and look at it, you'll get to see it. Can't touch it, but you can really see, hey, wait a minute, this is real, and this is really human.
What do you think about that?
I think they've been creating and making humans it's not even just clone humans. I mean, they've been doing that for eons, but now they can create humans in a petri dish, literally. That's what that's saying to me.
Yeah, and back, I don't know, probably a year or so ago, I had talked about them making the human on a chip, if you remember. Like, all the different systems worked together, and they were all connected to little transistors and worked as a whole.
I think they said they got dead air.
I don't know. Let's check it out. Damn. No, I got it. Hit F5, Joe.
Maybe refresh.
F5. Because I'm showing I'm connected, and I hit the player, and I'm still hearing us.
Okay, good. Are we there, guys, or not?
Yeah, I hear us there.
Okay.
Anyway, so, they had those little biological systems on a chip. Well, now there's a new one. New chips could heal soldiers without surgery. And if you remember, we covered that story as well in regards to the space program. They were talking about having, like, what was that thing called that the doctor on Star Trek had?
Oh, jeez, I can't remember.
The tricorder?
Tricorder, yeah.
They were going to insert it under the skin, and it would be monitoring your bodily systems, and then it would correct things before they went wrong. So then, if you were in deep space, we wouldn't have to have surgeons, and maybe we could use them on Earth as well. Well, there was something that came out yesterday about the new doctors, the new healable soldiers. Hold on, let me... what was that? New chips could heal soldiers without surgery. That's what it was. And, of course, it was DARPA funded.
Right, of course. It's always DARPA funded.
Minimally invasive injectable chips could treat everything from wounds to arthritis to post-traumatic stress and epilepsy. Now, one thing I want to mention about post-traumatic stress is also, if you dig through those documents that I've put together about tobacco and DARPA and Big Pharma and RNA and the research that they've been doing, you're going to find out that some of those mind control experiments that DARPA's been doing with inserting and removing memories for PTSD patients was using mRNA. And mRNA is the same substances that they were messing with some of these original vaccines. And I mean, RNAi is RNA interference, but then they use all of these different types of RNA to manipulate things. mRNA is one of the substances that they were utilizing not only in the antigens that they were manufacturing and then testing, but also was the substance that they were able to use to manipulate memories, insert and remove memories in the brain. So tell me if that isn't a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence whatsoever. I mean, this is where they're going with it, and they're not even going; they're already there. Mm-hmm. They're already there. I just I hate it when, like, that clip was like, oh, well, we've tested this in mice, and oh my god.
Yeah, they're way beyond that. Like I said, that three DNA child who's like 17 or 18. She was probably close to 20 years old.
Yeah, see? It's just, And I hate vivisection to begin with, and so I can't even imagine that they're, experiments on children that they do under the big underground laboratories and God knows what else there's going on.
Here, let me see if I can get this to play, this DARPA chip in the head thing. Oh my God. Here, we'll try it on here. This one should work. Maybe. Now there's no volume.
Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? This is really beginning to piss me off.
Uh-oh. It's baseball bat season.
Yeah, well, it is. Well, no, baseball bats are being retired.
Oh, that's right.
You'll find lots in the garbage.
That's right.
Garbage pickers unite.
Garbage pickers unite.
All right, let's see if I can make this work.
It's funny.
Pizza copter.
Oh my God, we're at the end of the show.
I know we are. That's why I want to play this. Damn it. There's no volume. Oh, you know why? Damn it. Add myself.
Good enough for you. How about a brain chip implant? That's right. The good people at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, better known as DARPA, along with researchers at UCLA and the University of Pennsylvania, have joined together to build the ultimate USB stick, if the B, of course, was for brain. This is all part of President Obama's Brain Initiative. What they're developing is implantable closed-loop systems able to deliver targeted neural stimulation that may ultimately help restore memory function. So in plain English, DARPA is working on creating a memory-enhancing microchip that would be implanted directly into your brain. Sounds pretty creepy. DARPA states that the technology is being developed in order to better combat victims of traumatic brain injuries, especially in veterans. UCLA will receive about $15 million from DARPA, while the University of Pennsylvania will be getting upwards of $22 million for the project. What do you think, is having a better memory worth a DARPA brain implant?
And I mean, they make it sound like it's this, and that this is actually supposed to be like a flashcard or something, but they're working on all this other technology that I don't know if it augments this, and it probably is. It's probably an electrochemical system, so they're going to put the flashcard in there with the programming or whatever, and then put in these little protein stimuli, biological reactions that happen that make changes to your biology and, whatever your memory. And there it is. So we'll have to continue this one tomorrow, I guess.
Thank you, Hammy, for being on.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for being on, Wendy. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Hey, fall has started, at least in my book. That means things will be better, hopefully. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Make sure you stick around. There's always great stuff on Wednesdays. And we have Mr. Hal Anthony playing, I believe, following us now. So make sure you hear it.